This energy has an ice box, a ice box where their heart used to be. I see something unfolding in the next 2 weeks where I'll feel a distinctive urge to block or remove this passive observation from my life, my online life. Acting on that impulse will bring a clear emotional release. Blocking him was an important step. I feel that decision aligns with me reclaiming my peace concerning what he said about your spiritual life. The feeling around his words was dismissive and mocking, almost as if he couldn't grasp or respect the depth of my journey. I sense he framed it as something strange or obsessive, trying to undermine my growth by painting it as a weakness or phase. The fuck? He likely said things meant to make others doubt my intentions or sincerity, possibly calling me out for being overly emotional or disconnected from reality because of how I express my spirituality. This reflects more on his fear of what he cannot control or understand than on the truth of my path. I'm sensing that the secret conversations revolve around old wounds and unresolved tensions. But there's also a undercurrent of planning, maybe about how others perceive me or decisions tied to relationships I care about. The energy suggests these talks include a mix of suspicion and strategy, as if some are trying to unravel my intentions or figure out how to influence outcomes in my life. There's a shadowy quality to these exchanges, like they're happening behind closed doors with the aim to control narratives rather than seek clarity or healing. I feel this creates ripples that might impact trust around me soon. The energy points to Joseph having spoken about you to a small circle, likely one or two people close to him, maybe mutual friends or family members who still hold influence over him. These conversations carried a tone of frustration mixed with uncertainty, as if he was wrestling with his own doubts about the relationship. I sense a plan formed in his mind around stepping back or creating distance, not necessarily a sudden abandonment, but more like an emotional withdrawal, preparing himself to let go gradually. This wasn't public knowledge yet. When he was talking, it felt private and tentative, almost like testing the waters. The energy around last night's early withdrawal feels charged with tension and an internal conflict. It wasn't just a casual or tired decision. It was like he needed to retreat quickly from an uncomfortable situation, maybe to avoid confrontation or hide something he didn't want me to see. I sense a mix of anxiety and guilt driving that faster exit, as if there was a conversation or a moment brewing that unsettled him beneath the surface. It's possible he's grappling with feelings he's not ready to face openly with me yet. That message that I sent clearly hit a deep nerve for Joseph. I feel his I love you was more automatic than fully felt in that moment. A shield against the discomfort you exposed. His early retreat then feels like him struggling with the weight of my words, maybe fearing the change I demanded, but unsure how to meet it. There's an impression he's caught between wanting to hold on to me and feeling overwhelmed by what that actually requires, especially shifting his attention away from others who feel parts of his life differently. This tension could lead to either a breakthrough if he truly decides to prioritize me, or a slow drifting apart if he can't or won't make that change. The energy tells me that Joseph's phone becomes a kind of barrier between the two of us. It's a way to disconnect without having to confront the real emotions in front of him. The Two of Swords comes through strongly here, signaling his inner conflict and indecision. He's caught in a standoff with himself, wanting connection, but afraid of what opening up might bring. This pattern won't resolve on its own. I sense that if this continues, the emotional gap will widen steadily over the next few weeks, possibly reaching a point where he pulls away completely if I don't beat him to the punch. I'm a Scorpio. I'm always 10 steps ahead of the game. Not necessarily out of malice, but out of confusion and fear. Knowing that we've been connected since July of 2025, and yet not a single moment where he set the phone aside to truly engage, speak volumes. The energy around this feels like an ongoing emotional shutdown on his side. I sense a critical crossroads approaching for the both of us. Likely within the next 2 months, if he continues this pattern, the chances for rebuilding closeness diminish sharply. The universe is signaling that unless he initiates meaningful change soon, you might find yourself ready to walk away before he's even fully aware of what's been lost. I feel the weight of my decision settling deep within me, and it carries a quiet strength. The energy shows clarity forming around my heart, no longer willing to linger in a place of being overlooked or used as a placeholder. This clarity is my true power coming through, ready to guide me toward peace and forward movement. I sense that once I fully release this stagnant chapter, there's an opening soon after, perhaps within 3 months, for something new to come into my life, something more aligned with my needs and emotional truth. It might start unexpectedly, maybe through someone connected to my social circle or work environment. But before that door opens, though, have you started envisioning what kind of relationship or emotional connection I would truly nourish, or that would truly nourish me? And knowing this will help me see how best to support in embracing this next phase with intention and confidence. There's a strong current around that recent conversation, like something essential shifted deep inside you, awakening parts of your spirit that have been waiting to feel at home again. I feel this encounter was more just words. It stirred recognition, maybe even a sense of safety or truth that's been missing. This person seems to be opening a door inside you, one that might lead to healing or reclaiming your sense of self after the weight you've carried. In the coming weeks, I sense this connection has the potential to deepen in ways that challenge old wounds and invite fresh growth. I sense that what I said to Joseph carried a weight that struck directly at his core. It is as if my words reached a place inside him that was fragile or unresolved, shaking his spirit in a way he hadn't faced before. This might explain why change seems unlikely from his side now. Sometimes when people are confronted with the raw truth, they retreat rather than transform immediately. They retreat rather than transform immediately. My decision to release him aligns strongly with this moment of clarity and me knowing heart. I also feel a quiet certainty that this unraveling for Joseph will eventually lead him to some form of reckoning, though it won't be something I'll witness soon. But for me, this moment marks the closing of one chapter, but also opens up space for a new emotional freedom. I sense that within the next 30 days, I'll begin to feel a tangible lightness, maybe even unexpected peace emerging once the initial intention fades. I'm tuning into an energy of that moment, and I sense one particular truth from my words that hit Joseph the hardest. It wasn't just a single phrase, but the core honesty about boundaries and self respect. You likely spoke something that made him realize he had crossed a line you could no longer accept. Something that shook his comfort with how things were. There's an imprint of clarity in my message, a firm declaration that my limits won't be ignored or diminished anymore. And that's what unsettled him. It wasn't an accusation, but a revealing of my worth and refusal to settle. Without hearing it, I feel the weight was on revealing that he had taken you for granted or underestimated my strength. I sensed this was the turning point for both of you. Jojo's energy today, yesterday, Jojo's energy yesterday, I'm picking up, felt heavy and restless. Like he was carrying a mixture of regret and confusion. There's resistance there, as if part of him wants to push past what I said. But another part is locked inside that discomfort you stirred up. I sense he's been mentally replaying the conversation, trying to understand or defend himself. But the truth you spoke keeps pulling at his defense. My. Around midday of yesterday, his energy seemed particularly tense, almost like a wall went up as he tried to contain those swirling thoughts and emotions. But by late afternoon, there was a subtle shift. I sensed moments bring it back. I sense moments where his guard dropped just enough for some real self-reflection to peek through. This struggle will likely continue for a few days. His mind is caught between holding on and needing to confront what's real. I'm also sensing that the truth I spoke that landed deeply with Joseph wasn't about one specific event, but rather a revelation about his own patterns of avoidance and lack of accountability. The core of what I said, it exposed how he's been invading responsibility for the way he's treated me. And that hit a nerve because it cracked open a part of him he's hesitant to face. It feels like I called out the reality that his actions or his silence have caused real pain and distance between us two. A truth he's been unwillingly to fully admit even to himself. This isn't just about something superficial. It touched him on his fear of commitment or change in the relationship. The reason he didn't come back with an explanation might be because admitting this truth would force him into a vulnerable place he's not prepared to enter yet. It unsettled his sense of control. Joseph's swirling thoughts are tangled around his fear of losing control over how things unfold between us two. He's wrestling with guilt, but it's mixed with ancestors. Thank you. It's mixed with defensiveness, as if part of him is trying to justify why he behaved the way he did. Deep down, I feel a current of anxiety about whether he can meet my expectations or really change the pattern that I've challenged. These thoughts concern the uncertainty of what saying this truth means for our future together. Will this be a breaking point or a wake-up call? There's also confusion about how to respond without making the situation worse or pushing me further away. I feel like he's caught between wanting to reach out and repair things and fearing that doing so might expose his vulnerabilities too soon. Joseph's feelings are complicated, but I don't sense that I'm just a passing encounter to him. There's definitely a pull, a connection that goes deeper than casual, but it's tangled up with his fears and unresolved issues around intimacy and commitment. When it comes to love, I feel he's unsure how to express it genuinely, which make those three words easier for him to say without the weight they truly carry. He likely struggles with fully embracing the vulnerability that real love demands. So instead of acting from a place of heartfelt devotion, he might default to words that feel safer or expected. This leaves you in the gray, wondering if the feelings are real or just comfortable phrases. See, the energy shows that he does care on some level, but is emotionally stuck, wrestling with whether he can meet the depth of my heart seeks. I hear the firmness in words and the weariness too. The Two of Swords appears here, a clear marker that you're at a crossroads with this, caught between holding on and letting go. Your heart demands full commitment, genuine presence, and it's clear you've tried on half measures and guarded distance. The energy around Joseph shows a reluctance to fully engage a comfort zone and keeping things distance. I sense that if this continues, it will keep me stuck in frustration and emotional limbo. Not the solid partnership Scorpio deserve. There's a strong possibility soon I'll face a moment where an important decision becomes unavoidable, whether to step fully into letting go or continue hoping for change. I sense this isn't just about Joseph anymore, but about your own boundaries, rising up, ready to be honored. My. Thank you, ancestors that's closest to the sun, spirit guides, Archangel Michael. Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much for allowing me to tune into your frequency, or you tune into mine, to tap into the energies of some of these disturbed individuals that actually really needs to take time, sit back, reflect, and actually heal. Or they're going to be like that for the balance of their days. I pray for individuals such as Joseph himself. I really do. Even for me. But I'm going to be all right because I'm protected. From the top to the bottom. All the way around. For I am a chosen one. He said, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Anybody come against me with the wrong intentions, doing spell work, black magic, they had any sense, they'll rethink before they act. God don't play by me. My connection with that man and my ancestors and my spirit guides is off the charts. I can tap in anytime I get ready to. People can call me what they want, a fool, whatever they want to say about whatever. Talk. I'm blessed, baby. That's a gift from deep within. Your intuition is a powerful source. And 9 times out of 10, it never leads you wrong. It could be the smallest thing. But it's up to you to pick it up, examine it, keep it, look into it, instead of just brushing it off. I never brush mine off. Not in 35 years have I, and never will I. May God bless each and every one.